Hello and welcome guys to a new episode on SportPredictorFanatic. Today we're going to predict the Serie A 7th round matchups. They all play this weekend, so first I'm going to predict every match and then I'm going to get into the betting part. Let's just get straight into it. The first matchup we're going to talk about is Napoli against Como. Napoli are in the first place in the Serie A with 13 points from 6 games, while their opponents Como are in 10th place with 5 points less. Last weekend, Napoli won their match with 2-0 against Monza. With that, they are now 6 games unbeaten with 5 wins and 1 draw. Como also won last weekend with 3-2 against Verona, and with that are on a 2-match winning streak. Como and Napoli have played each other in the past, of course, with the last time being in 2004, where Como actually won the match. And actually, Como won all of the last 3 matches against Napoli. Pretty interesting, but of course, it's been a long time ago. And I expect Napoli are the better team here. They have won all matches at home this season, so with that, I expect Napoli to get the W. Then we have Verona playing against Venezia. Verona are in the 14th place with 6 points from 6 games, while their opponents Venezia are in the 19th place with 2 points less. Last weekend Verona lost 3-2 against Como and with that are on a 3-match losing streak. Venezia also lost their match this weekend with 2-1 against AS Roma. Verona and Venezia have played each other in the past, with the last time being in 2022, where Verona won the matchup. In the last 7 matches between these two, there have been 3 wins for Verona and 4 draws, so no wins for Venezia there. I think this will be a very close match, but I think Verona will get the win due to them having I think they have the better team. And the fact they play at home, I think, will really work. Although I do think they are quite level at the moment with form. But yeah, I'm going for Verona. Then Udinese against Lecce. Udinese are in the 8th place with 10 points from 6 games, while their opponents Lecce are in the 18th place with 5 points less. Last weekend, Udinese lost 3-2 against Inter Milan. Lecce also lost last weekend with 3-0 against AC Milan, which was their 2nd loss in a row and their 4th match in a row without a win. Lecce and Udinese have played each other last season with one match ending in a draw and the other one was Lecce winning their away match. Lecce this season haven't been too good, with only 1 point of their 3 away matches, so away isn't really their thing this season yet. With that and the fact that Udinese have the better form and better team this season, I am going for an Udinese win right here. Then we have Atalanta playing against Genoa. Atalanta are in the 12th place with 7 points from 6 games, while their opponents are in the 16th place with 2 points less. Last weekend Atalanta drew 1-1 against Bologna and earlier this week won 3-0 in the Champions League against Shakhtar Donetsk. Genoa last weekend lost 3-0 against Juventus and with that are now on a 3-match losing streak and a 5-match winless streak. Atalanta and Genoa have played each other in the past, of course, with last season. They also played twice with Atalanta winning both matches. And in the last 9 games between these two, Atalanta have been undefeated with 5 wins and 4 draws. I think Atalanta, of course, have the better team, but they haven't been playing too well yet. Although I do think that home advantage will give that their win. Then Inter Milan playing against Torino. Inter and Torino are both on 11 points after 6 games, but because of the goal difference of both teams, Inter are 4th and Torino are 5th. Inter last weekend won 3-2 against Udinese and earlier this week won 4-0 against Red Star Belgrado, of course, in the Champions League. Torino last weekend lost 3-2 against Lazio. Inter and Torino played each other last season, with Inter actually winning both of the matchups, and actually in the last 10 games between these two, Inter won 9 and it ended in a draw only once. But Torino have been really good away this season, with 7 points from 3 matches away. So yeah, and the 7 points is like 7/11th of their point total, so that's not really bad. But I think Inter will get the win here because, well, I think they're the better team, and they have won the last 2 games, which of course also really helps. So yeah, I'm going for an Inter win right here. Then we have Juventus playing against Cagliari. Juventus are second in the league with 12 points from 6 games, while their opponents are on 7 points less and with that are 17th. Last weekend, Juventus won 3-0 against Genoa and earlier this week won 3-2 in the Champions League against Leipzig. With that, they are still unbeaten this season. Cagliari also won last weekend with 3-2 against Parma. This was their first win in the Serie A this season. Last season, Juventus and Cagliari also played against each other, with Juventus winning at home, but in the other match, it ended in a draw. In the last 6 matches between Juventus and Cagliari, Juventus won 5 of them and it ended in a draw only once. And the last 14 times Juventus played at home against Cagliari, they actually haven't lost. They won 11 times and the other 3 were draws. Obviously, I also think that Juventus are the stronger team here, and because of that, I'm going to go with a Juventus win. Then we have a Bologna playing against Parma. Bologna are 13th in the league with 7 points from 6 games, while their opponents are on 2 points less, with that are 15th. Last weekend, Bologna drew 1-1 against Atalanta, while earlier this week they lost 2-0 against Liverpool. Parma lost last weekend with 3-2 against Cagliari, and with that are now winless in the last 4 games, with 1 draw and 3 losses. Bologna and Parma have played each other in the past. In 2021 was the last time where Bologna won the matchup. In the last 9 matches between these two, Bologna have won 4 and the other 5 were draws. I think Bologna have got the better team, but at home this season they have drawn all 4 matches. But I think due to their squad strength, that they will get the win against the promovendus, of course, Parma. So yeah, I'm going for a Bologna win right here. Then we have Lazio playing against Empoli. Lazio and Empoli are both on 10 points after 6 games. Last weekend, Lazio won 3-2 against Torino. Well, earlier this week, Lazio also won in the Europa League with 4-1 against Nice. With that, they are now on a 3-match winning streak. Empoli last weekend drew 0-0 against Fiorentina. With that, they are still unbeaten this season. Lazio and Empoli played each other last season, with Lazio winning both of their matchups. In the last 11 matches between these two, there was a draw 2 times and the other 9 times were won by Lazio. Lazio at home have also not lost yet this season. I do think it will be a close match, but I do think it's going to be in Lazio's favor. Then we have a Monza playing against AS Roma. Monza are last in the league with 3 points from 6 games. Their opponents AS Roma are on triple their points and with that are 9th. Monza last weekend lost 2-0 against Napoli, as Roma last weekend won 2-1 against Venezia, but earlier this week in the Europa League lost 1-0 against Elfsborg, which for me was a little bit of a surprise. Monza and AS Roma have played each other last season, of course, with AS Roma winning both matches. I do think AS Roma have got the better team compared to Monza, but their form is not at the best at this moment. But because Monza's form also isn't the best, I think I'm still going for AS Roma. Then we have Fiorentina playing against AC Milan. Fiorentina are 11th with 7 points from 6 games. Their opponents AC Milan have 4 more points and with that are 3rd. Fiorentina drew their match last weekend with 0-0 against Empoli. Earlier this week, they won in the Conference League with 2-0 against TNS. AC Milan won their match last weekend with 3-0 against Lecce, and earlier this week lost their match in the Champions League with 1-0 against Bayern Leverkusen. Fiorentina and AC Milan have played each other, of course, in the past, with of course also last season, with AC Milan winning both matches. Fiorentina this season are really good at home, and they are still unbeaten at home, but I think AC Milan just have the better team and should win this matchup. Then let's get into the betting part. I've betted on 5 matches and done my basic strategy with doubles and trebles. The matches are Hellas Verona to win, the odds for that is 2.16. Udinese to win their matchup, the odds for that is 2.21. Bologna to win their matchup, the odds for that is 1.81. AS Roma to win their matchup, the odds for that is 1.95. And then AC Milan to win their matchup, the odds for that is 2.22. So yeah, as said, basic strategy on €5 on the doubles, €5 on the trebles. So yeah, and let's hope we get something right this time. So yeah, that is what I'm gonna do. Please let me know what you think, because I'm actually interested in that. But for now, I want to thank y'all for watching. Please have a good day, and I will see you.